banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the intergalactic space arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Welcome to Classic Game Room, where I have the Sega MK1627, which really needs to be dusted. Alright, for the record, it is really hard to play this game backwards, upside down, in reverse off of a Sega Genesis Reflection. Welcome to a special Classic Game Room where I'm going to show you some behind-the-scenes work that's going into the first Classic Game Room feature review, a 90-minute plus feature-length review of MUSHA, where I'll be covering every aspect of this game, playing it with a variety of controllers, shooting some live action footage, and basically having a great time with one of my favorite games, and then releasing it as a physical product like this, in a clamshell case. You'll get the film on a USB drive, and there's some other options available as well. This is on Kickstarter right now. I'm designing the lighting, I'm designing the camera shots, I'm going to start actual photography over the next couple weeks. But let's take a look at how this is all coming together, and I think it'll give you a good idea of what the first CGR feature review is going to be all about. This is the Sega Genesis that I'll be using for the majority of the MUSHA feature review filming. My original Sega Genesis, purchased in 1989 from Babbage's in Ross Park Mall in Pittsburgh. Get a Q-tip and clean out some of these bits here. Here's a little making of footage for you. Testing some angles and camera equipment and lighting for the first Classic Game Room feature review. Working out some dramatic lighting shots of the game system with multiple cameras today. That's a lot of light. So for something like this, I would use a tripod, and then I can mark my focus points. This macro lens is actually one of my favorites. I don't get a chance to use it very often, so I'm pretty excited to use it here in the MUSHA review. Give some really interesting images. Do a bunch of shots like that and edit them together, showing the line. The Genesis itself always looks really nice on screen, so. This sign was sent to the show by Brandon in Pittsburgh. Thank you, Brandon. I can't think of any better place for it than right behind the TV. Now, the Intergalactic Space Arcade has just a bit more blast processing. Perfect for reviewing one of my favorite games. It looks great with the Sega sign on the wall. I'm working out some different lighting and camera angles here, and what I'll be doing is playing through the game and talking about the enemies and the location and the music and how all of this combined makes MUSHA one of the greatest games in existence. Now it's important to remember that when playing MUSHA, when you hit the pause button, you can adjust the speed of your awesome spaceship robot thing right up there. This is subjective, of course, what speed is best is up to you. Personally, I like level 5. I think level 5 is just right. It's fast without being too fast. Now, it's easy to miss this if you're just paying attention to the gameplay, but I love how they have these houses or fortresses or whatever, and this lattice work scrolling above the water, which you can see is glistening, and it's just a really nice effect. Very subtle, but it gives the game a lot of motion, and it just gets better in some of the later levels too. I like the super bomb weapon personally. The green lasers are also good. The first level's not that difficult, but the super bomb gets super cool really quick, as you're about to see. Just make sure to hold down your B and C buttons through pretty much the entire game. For a shot like this, I need to get in there with a Q-tip and clean off every bit of that, obviously, but I like to shoot something that's a basic household item like a Sega Genesis, which every household should have, and then make it look unique in a way that we don't see it on a daily basis. And that's what I'm going to be doing with the macro lens. Like, when's the last time you've actually looked at the vents on the side of your Genesis and wondered why they designed them like that? My Genesis has the Sega CD attachment because they all should. This is going to be one of my favorite parts of the new feature review. What controller is best for MUSHA? This is actually one of my favorite Sega Genesis controllers here. Easy to spot because of the silver video sticker on there. I bought this used like 10 years ago. But I've got a whole lot of Sega Genesis controllers, to put it mildly. I've got your basic Sega Genesis controllers, which I like. I've got joysticks. I've got aftermarket Sega Genesis controllers. Let's go grab a bunch of these and start getting ready for the actual filming, which I probably won't do today, but I at least want to collect everything and get it ready to shoot. Obviously, I've got this guy in the running, the Hori Fighting Stick Multi, which has cables for Sega Genesis, PC Engine, and Super Nintendo. It's a nice joystick. I've got the Mega, which is basically a knockoff standard Sega Genesis controller, and one of many quick shots for professional players. And since I am a professional at playing MUSHA, at least in my own mind, this is eligible. Now this one's pretty exciting. What's the model number on this? The MK1627. I don't really like this all that much compared to certainly something like this Hori over here. So what I'm going to do is actually mail this down to Alan 9000 and see what kind of top-notch components he can put into this. And then it's going to be in the mix. So Alan will be in touch. And here's this thing here, the SJ6000. And I've got bins full of controllers, so let's just go. Let's start digging through. See what we can. Ooh, hey. ColecoVision probably won't work. We have this thing, cat with sunglasses. This one hasn't even been QC passed, so pretty sure it's not going to defeat these other ones. This one does look like the Batarang, though. This is like a trip down memory lane. These are just coming out of the woodwork. Got the high frequency. Got this guy, the Suncom, which kind of looks like a penguin. So what I'm going to do is test some filming with two cameras, and I'll use this controller since it's going to get modified. So this will be like the last time that we see it before Alan 9000 works his magic on it. For the shots that have me on screen, I'm going to be working with a small crew. An SLR is definitely the way to go for pro filming, or at least some kind of a great lens, great manual lens, but that requires more than one person, unless you're doing studio photography. What's this guy's story? As you can see, it's hard to make this thing look bad. It's such a good looking game. And I find that the colors complement the Sega Genesis nicely. There you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed your behind the scenes look at the creation of the first Classic Game Room feature review, and I'm expecting to make this a series. Some other games I'm looking at reviewing in the future in this format are Omega Boost, Herzog Zwei, and Gigawing, but I'm starting with my beloved Sega Genesis and MUSHA. This will be delivered in a clamshell case on a USB drive. There's some other delivery options available as well. It's on Kickstarter, so check it out right now, and hopefully you find this as exciting as I do, because I'm having a good time making this, digging into every detail, like the barfing. What is she doing?